Welcome to Bundy Group Insights, where industry expertise meets experience. This podcast is your ultimate guide to the intricate world of mergers and acquisitions, capital raises, and economic trends. Let's get started.
Hi, this is Clint Bundy, Managing Director of Bundy Group. Thanks for joining for another episode of Bundy Group Insights. I am very excited to have on today a valued team member who's been with us for over 11 years. This is someone who absolutely represents Bundy Group, its core values, its scrappiness, and commitment to client service. He's also someone who we just consider part of the family. He's someone I've wanted to have on Bundy Group Insights for some time, and I think our listeners will really enjoy his story. Introducing Lorenc Biqiku. Lorenc, thanks for joining.
Clint, good morning. Thank you for having me here today.
Great. Well, hey, let's get right into it, man, because you have one heck of a story. And I want to just go ahead and let our viewers, listeners get right into it, learning about you. So let's go back in time here, and I want you to do us a favor and tell us about yourself, your life prior to Bundy Group.
Sure. I was born 40 years ago in a small town in Albania, southeastern country in Europe. I come from a worker's family, hardworking, modest, grounded. My parents always taught me that nothing in life comes easy. So if you want to achieve something, you need to earn it through hard work sometimes and through honest works in other times. I spent my childhood there, went through all 12 years of school, and from a young age, I was drawn to international languages, history, passionate about politics and international relations. I always had that curiosity about the world beyond Albania. So at a certain point, after my 12 years of studying in my country, at the 19 years old, my family and I, with my family's support, I moved to Italy to study political science and international relations. It was tough at the beginning because it was my first time alone outside my family and country. Um, I had to work at the beginning to support myself while I was studying, but I had the help of my aunt, my mom's sister, who became like a second mom for me. Eventually, I earned both my bachelor's and master's degree with honors. At that point, I thought that I'd go back to Albania and pursue my initial dream, which was serving my original country in the diplomacy and international relationship career.
I got to ask Lawrence, how many languages do you speak?
Yeah, that's a great question. I started approaching international languages since my early life. Uh, Italy was one of the first those languages that I started learning because of the proximity that we have with the country, but also with the TV that we were able to see and the cartoons as a little one. Then at the age of 13, I immigrated with my family in Greece, southeastern of Albania. I took class there and I started learning Greek. But then I realized that um, maybe at the 13 years old, the Greek experience was a bit strange for me. So I decided myself and asked my parents to go back in Albania and start school in September. I have been living alone with my sister in Albania, while my mom and dad and brother were in Greece. So my next approach with languages was in my in my high school. by starting having class in French and then in English. So I can say proudly today that I knew perfectly Italian, fluent in English, knowledge in Greek and French.
Well, that's it's quite an arsenal that Bundy Group has at its disposal to use on the language front with you, and we have had to make use of that on several occasions for some international buyer calls that we've had. So,
Yeah. And I just wanted to add that with many financial sponsors call and clients call that I have is a like um, um, secret ammunition when I go and speak with all our audience, and that's a good thing for sure.
absolutely. Well, look, Lawrence, what's a great background, fascinating background prior to Bundy Group. Tell us, remind our remind me and let our viewers know, how did you get involved with Bundy Group, and give us an idea of what your first, let's just say, 10 years or so were like with the firm.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, it was, I believe, around 2014. I was exploring freelance work online just after my graduation in diplomacy and international relation. I had no job at that time, and I was seriously planning to turn back in my country and pursue the diplomatic career. Um, at the time, as I said, I was exploring some online jobs to these new online platforms, and curious about the remote opportunities. I put together my actual at the time curriculum vitae, added a photo, and posted it. One day, I got this email from you. I didn't know nothing about Clint Bundy, the Bundy Group team, and the investment banking industry more broadly. What the thing that I remember still about that email is that you said you liked my background and asked if I would be open to helping with some research projects, some small and teeny projects at the time. I had no idea, as I said, about investment banking, markets, clients, and industry verticals and technical um, uh, terms. So uh, it started all from there. So in the first 10 years uh, of career in Bunny Group, I can say that I grew up in the Bunny Group team as a team member, but also proudly as a family member. Um, as I said, I started as a researcher doing basic stuff for the team. At the beginning, I remember the Bunny Group team was also a small and teeny a group with just your father, you, and Jim, and I was the fourth team member, helping the daily operations of you and managing your deal execution and deal origination stuff. So it was exciting for sure. I grew up as a researcher, then transformed it into a associate. You gave me a much more responsibilities and trusted and in me and in larger projects. Then I turned it into a senior associate managing um, much more complex tasks like preparing you for conferences and trade shows, and also keeping in mind and organizing everything into our CRM system, but also helping you, Jim and Bill, in the deal execution and deal origination side. Um, that has been since 2022. Uh, it was 8 years working from Europe. Um, you
And let me just add, I think that first, let's just call it 8 to 10 years. I mean, you were there with us as we changed as a firm, we matured as a firm, we've grown as a firm, headcount, capabilities, and I want to just issue the compliment to you. and the reason why you're with us today, still and a valued team member today, is it's not just your capability to do the work, but your I would call it intellectual hunger to learn more, do better, and find out how can we take what we're doing today and better it even more on behalf of both our company, but especially our clients. And so I love how you walk through your sort of growth cycle within that. And I want to continue. I want you to explain a little bit more about what you're doing for Bundy Group now and your current role. But before we do that, I want you to let the listeners know, how did you get from Albania to North America? Give that story because it's a good.
Yeah, right. It was always our plan, my wife, especially, and me, to at a certain time, especially when we had our son, to move in a better place and in a better country, which we always dreamed to be North America. We believe that Canada was the right place to raise our son, be closer to some of our relatives, and keep growing professionally. To start the process, I had to take a temporary job as a cook. Uh, in a remote part of Canada, it was the only way to move in North America. So I took that opportunity. So I went alone at the beginning. I left back my country, my wife, and the 1 year old son. It was tough because my son had health issues at the beginning, and it was incredibly hard, the distance and working um, so far from house. And yeah, it was a particular time for me, for sure. At the time, I was a cook in the daytime, and investment banking part time at night, keeping in mind and looking my emails on the Bundy Group chapter. Yeah, I can confess it was tough, a tough moment till.
In a very cold environment, if I may add, where it was sunset at what, about 4 o'clock? Remind us where you were again.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. And for the first time of my life, I experienced a hurricane. So it was a huge hurricane. I remember it was Fiona. And yeah, it was a new reality for me on every step. But I used to manage it personally, and
And what was the location again?
it
Based.
was Prince Edward Island. It was a nice and beautiful province in northeast Canada. I really enjoyed the time there. People, Canadians, were nice, and the diversity of multiculturalism was really integrated with the society. So it was especially a good moment of my life. But I was alone, and I never felt the the moment till I realized to reunite my family. So that happened when I finally switched my status from a visitor to a temporary work permit holder. Then I was allowed to go back to my country and reunite the family. It was
A big day, by the way, right? Getting
yeah,
that permanent
yeah,
visa, correct?
definitely it was a great moment of my Canadian life. And when I went back, it was surprising that my son. Um, I still remember the face of my son, and his run through me to the airport. It was certainly uh, unforgettable moment. Then we joined Canada, all the three. Finally, I keep working a little bit more months in the restaurant where I was working. But at a certain point, I realized that my to achieve a better life and what I was dreaming with my wife in Canada, I had to turn back full capacity with the Bundy Group team. I
Which
in the
we were excited about, by the way, just to be clear.
I I was excited too because I was in the meantime that I was doing a cook. I had time to study the Canadian market, the Canadian companies, and there is no place in North America much integrated with the U.S. in terms of markets and economics, and also uh, I saw that probably bringing a new team member of Bundy Group in Canada will 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 uh, will not only give me the opportunity to scale professionally, but also bring into the Bundy Group team another opportunity to uh, export our great services in a Canadian reality.
So yeah, and I'm gonna pull up that string a little bit more. So you moved to Toronto, or the suburb of Toronto, which
Yeah, I
so it gives Bundy Group the opportunity to claim Toronto presence and office, which we're very proud of. And now, what are you doing today for us? Tell our listeners what is your role, both on execution as, or maybe more important, coverage.
Yeah, at a certain point, I then moved with my family in a suburb of Toronto, where my relatives lives, and I started open the Toronto Bundy Group office. So on my daily operation for Bundy Group, I uh, go into the office in the morning, see my emails, then I start preparing for conferences and trade shows that I can attend in, especially in the industrials and technology space. I had the opportunity to attend numerous conferences in US in the last year, but also in Canada. Um, then my other duties is on supporting the deal execution team on the pipeline, on the live engagement deals, and also another hat of me is uh, originating new opportunities, going to meet new, especially Canadian business owners and founders, and explain to them how Bunny Group helps them to achieve their life's goal, to maximize their value through a competitive process. And I see that needs in Canada. So I see a real need for Canadian businesses to have much more foreign investors and fresh capital that can help drive and grow and scale their companies in the market.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Lawrence, it shows that the passion you have, not only just for your family to help them move to a new life, and a life that you feel betters your family and would and your son for new opportunities, but your passion for our firm. And I mean, you're a guy that frankly fills a lot of roles. You are a team player to the umpteen degree, uh, and everybody on our team loves you. And we don't know what we do without you, either on coverage or execution. And so it's what I see is really, even though you've been with us for over 10 years now, in some ways you're in year one of a bright new path that you're blazing for Bundy Group in the Canadian market, as well as, let's make note, you're also covering plenty of companies in the US as well. And so let me ask this as we kind of reach the here near the end of our podcast. What Tell our listeners what motivates you? What do you love most about our business? What gets you up in the morning? Gets you going?
Yeah, thank you. That's a really great question. What I love the most is that I love the mix of strategic thinking and human connection that we have in our house. So we have a great team in place. Everyone, nothing apart. So we help business owners achieve life changing results, And when the whole team is aligned to that goal, heads down, focused on closing a deal, that's isn't pure energy that incredibly motivate me. So it's not only a happy client, happy Bundy Group, but is uh, a happy process and happy client in terms of uh, when when a client achieve their life's goal, we can say that we have achieved our promise. So that's a big motivation of me. I also love what uh, I also love that we are always evolving as a firm and as individuals. As I said previously, when I joined, we have been a small, tiny firm, and now we are a team of 11. Bundy Group today is bigger, more modern, and more diverse than ever, and I am proud to have been part of that transformation. So I started, as I mentioned, as a no financial background team member, as a vice president today.
Uh, well, Lawrence, as I said at the beginning, nobody represents our firm and our values, how we want to be perceived as well as you do. So I want to thank you again for your commitment, work, and loyalty on behalf of Bundy Group and its clients. And thanks for making time for this day. Let's do this your 20th anniversary for Bundy Group. Okay, this is really fun.
Looking forward to it. And the last word that I would like to say is that is a gratitude word that I would like to spend for my family, for the Bundy Group team, and to United States, and to Canada, which are my new homes, and that I look forward to contribute and with my knowledge and capacity and any capacity. Um, so thank you, Clint.
Well, thank you, man. Appreciate it. And to our listeners, thanks for joining today. And we'll be back with another episode of Bundy Group Insights in the near future.
Thank you.
Before we conclude, an essential reminder: Bundy Group Securities, LLC, an affiliated entity of Bundy Group, is a registered broker-dealer and a member of FINRA and SIPC. Please note that Bundy Group and Bundy Group Securities do not provide any financial, legal, economic, accounting, investment, or tax advice through this program. Neither Bundy Group nor its affiliates make any representation or warranty regarding the accuracy of the information provided in this content series, and the content provided does not constitute a recommendation. This content should not be copied or published without the expressed written consent of Bundy Group.